Okay, so the third transformation, this is section 3.3. The third transformation is rotation. So that's the name of this, the slang of this is a churn.
Are we learning both of them today? Is there 4 of them?
No, well, the dilation, no, we won't learn that today. Okay, so here's your worksheet that we're working on, and I need to get one of these to Delta. But anyway, you can see that we're going to rotate these first two, and you do not have enough room on your paper, so you will need a protractor. You'll need a protractor, and then you'll need a piece of paper to do this on. Okay. If you want a white piece of paper, there's some in there. If you want a white piece of paper, if you want to just do it on a plain piece of paper, that's fine too. Okay, it's in there. Okay. So, I thought it was in there. Never mind. What's that? Do what? Oh, do you have it? You don't have this sheet? Okay. All right. Okay. My goodness. All right. Okay, you pass this out. Okay, so you'll see down below that you're going to have to graph too. So if you graph it right on there, hopefully we won't need to get the boards out, but we'll see. You're supposed to have two.
I put the extra one on your text.
Just keep it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, please.
Just keep it. And it is easier to do this rotation on the white paper. Okay. So, all right. So you'll see that your first figure is a triangle. So what I want you to do is on your paper, just draw a triangle and try to make it so it looks like it. It doesn't matter that it doesn't, if it doesn't match exactly. And this is very difficult for me to do because you can see that anytime I go over it, it erases some of my work. So. Yeah, you want to give yourself room. Yeah, because you're going to rotate it, and you're going to rotate it on this point K. And you can put point K further out, or however you want to do it. This is N, and this is M, and this is P. Please label it like the worksheet. Okay. So we want to, it says use a protractor and a ruler to draw the specified rotation of each figure about point K. So we're going to do the first one together. You're going to do the second one. The second one is a pentagon, and this one is a triangle. Okay? So the first one says 110 degrees. Do you all see that? Okay. So we want to do 110 degrees, and otherwise, if they don't tell you which way to rotate it, you always go counterclockwise. You always go counterclockwise. So clockwise is this way, counterclockwise is this way. Okay? Right? Yeah. Counterclockwise. We're doing 110 degrees, and I got that from the worksheet, didn't I? Mm-hmm. I didn't make that up. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to connect one of the points to K. Okay? So I'm going to do the first one, which is N, and it's not easy. Okay? Your picture is going to get really crowded here in a minute. Okay? So there's a line to that, right? Okay. You got it? Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to, counterclockwise is this way, right? I'm going to swing it this way, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I put my protractor on here, and I go along that line, and I go 110 degrees, which would be, I'll write down here my words. I'm going to erase my words. So I'm going to go 110, here's 90, here's 110 about right here. Is that true? Correct?
My 110 is this way.
Yeah, mine too.
Which way?
Oh, no, it's just because you're holding it.
Well, there's 110 here, right? But that's not 110 from this line. That's only
Oh, that's
70.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Never
You got 110 is bigger than 90. Okay. All right. So now we're going to draw a line to that. Okay. And I'm going to actually we would use a compass and we would measure this distance, right? But I'm going to have you measure it on here. Okay. So I'm going to measure. I'm going to use inches. You can use millimeters. Actually, it might be easier to use this. See the inside of your protractor or the inside of my protractor? How many centimeters or how many centimeters is that? 3. It looks like about 3.2, doesn't it?
I got 3.
Okay, if you got 3, everybody's going to be different in it.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so now what you're going to do is
Oh, I didn't even get 2.
you're going to measure this. You're going to go to that point. See how I put it on the 2 points? See, here's my point here, and here's my point here. And I'm going to go 3 point, mine was 3.2. All right, and that's going to be my new N prime. So I have rotated that this way. So this is going to be N prime. I've rotated it this way. It's counterclockwise. Does everybody see that?
So what was the... So why
Okay.
do you draw a line from
Okay,
N
so-
to K?
Okay, so because that's the line you're going to measure the 110 degrees from.
Okay.
So we're going to take that, we're going to measure 110 degrees, which was right here. And I just put a point. You can draw that line. The problem with drawing that line is then it gets really crowded. Okay? And then what I did was, then I measured this, and we would normally use a compass, but I'm going to have you use your ruler. And I measured, mine's about 3.2. Is that right? Yours is going to be different. And then I measure, see, every time I do this, I erase stuff. That's why I don't want to do it over and over and over. And so then I measure the end to that point. See this point right here? That was my 110 degrees. I slide it over there, and that's about 3.2, and that's N prime. Did we get it? Okay, so now that's the first point. I got to do that with every single one of these. So I'm going to connect this line right here. All right, you see it? I'm going to connect it. All right, and then I'm going to put my protractor. Notice I have to turn it around because I'm swinging this way, right? And I'm going to go, it's 110 degrees. So it should be further to the right, shouldn't it? It's right there. See that
Wait,
point?
did we just do K or N?
I'm doing M right here.
So you start at N?
This is 100. See this line right here? I'm doing 110 degrees, which is right here. And I could draw a line, but it's got to be on that line. You understand what I'm saying?
So you line it up with the line.
Yes, I line it up with the line. Any other questions before I move this?
Nope.
Okay, so now I'm going to erase this other one. I'm going to erase, this one is where I'm going. This is where I've been, okay? All right. All right, so now I'm going to measure the distance from M to K. And I do it in centimeters, and it looks like it's 5 centimeters right on the button. And so then I move it over here and I put it on that point that I just made, right? And I do 5 centimeters out, which is right there. It's very close to my point that I was at, right? And I can even erase that point. This is P. And this is M prime. Okay, now the last one, is everybody with me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to connect P and K. I'm going to connect P and K, and then I'm going to turn it over because I'm swinging this way. So I'm going to put it right on K, my vertex. I'm going to draw the line, and I'm going to swing this way. So it's clear over here, right? It's clear over here. Got it?
Yeah.
Now, normally you can draw that line if you want, but once again, there's a lot of lines then, right? So now I'm going to measure P to K in centimeters, and I can go K to P or P to K, it doesn't matter. It looks like it's exactly 2 centimeters, okay? I got lucky there. And so I'm going to match it up to that point right there, and I'm going to go 2 centimeters, which is right here. And that, my fast furry friends, is P prime. Now it's a little off, I can tell. So I'm going to connect these points, and this is what my triangle looks like as it rotates around K. Now, this is my original triangle right here. I keep right here. And so you can tell I'm a little off, because this should be a little slanted, but that's a, well, no it isn't. There's my original triangle. Sorry about that. Right here, so it's not too bad, is it? It's not too bad, but it's rotating around K 110 degrees. Do you understand it? So the first thing we do is we draw the lines to K. This is K right here. We draw the lines to K, all right, and then we put our protractor on it and swing it the degrees. So on number 2, will you swing, what will you swing?
80.
80 degrees, not 110. Do we got it? All right.
Still counterclockwise here. You never saw
Always, unless they tell you different, it's always counterclockwise. Unless there's a difference. Okay. All right. Can I erase? All right. So the next thing is how do you do it if it's on a graph like this? Okay. And if you open your books to page it's in the rotation section, page 241, page 241. Page 241 looks like, I guess I can do this. Looks like this. I don't know, can you see this? It's this key rotations and the coordinates right here on page 241. All right. So let's go through this. I'll write it down so you can see it a little better. You can see it on your book too, but I'm going to write it down. Now this is really hard on your quiz. I'll look that up. On your quiz, you're going to have to know these points. So you're going to have an idea of these points. So it might be good to start looking at them right now and know, how to rotate them. But let me show you the rotation. If you have now this is all counterclockwise. Remember that? Counterclockwise. Counterclockwise. So there's 3 rotations that we talk about. We have a 90-degree rotation, we have a 180-degree rotation, and we have a 270, right? And then this is your angle. So this is your XY right here. Okay? So we have an XY, and then we have these rotations. So if I have an XY here, okay, this is my XY, then a 90 rotation is we make the Y the opposite, and we keep the same X. Okay? If we do a 180 rotation for XY, we just make the X and the Y the opposite of what they were. That one's a great one. Okay? And then the 270 rotation, we actually, oh, I messed up on that. I didn't mention this, but you see how you switch the X and the Y, and the Y becomes the opposite? I didn't say that, did I? I don't remember saying that. Okay? And then the last one, we switch the Y and the X, but what happens? The X becomes the opposite, the Y stays the same. Okay? Do you understand that? Now, it's best to memorize these until you kind of get them down, but you can kind of locate them. The first one, like, for example, let's do 4, number 4 on your assignment. It says ABC with vertices. It says graph each figure and its image after the specified rotation about its origin. So what I want you to do is, the same as always, you're going to graph the original. Okay, then we're going to find the coordinates of the new, and then we're gonna graph the new. So I want the coordinates off to the side. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's go ahead and graph the original. A is a negative 4, 4, so a negative 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4, so this is A. B is a negative 2, a negative 1, so a negative 2, a negative 1, so here's B. And then C is 2, a negative 2, a negative 4, so 2, a negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that right? Did I graph those right? All right.
Oh, I was doing
Kellen, are you okay?
No, I was doing a 3.
Okay, we're doing number 4, because I wanted a 270 instead of a... So it looks like this. Now all our rotations are around what point? All our rotations are around what point? 0, 0, the origin, okay? You got to understand that. All right, so now we're going to rotate. I'm going to bring this back in. We're doing a 270. We're doing a 270 rotation. Can you see this? Okay, so my first point is A, which is a negative 4, negative 4, 4, right? So a 270 rotation, I switch and I put my Y first, correct? So I'm going to go A prime. So I'm going to go 4, and then the opposite of a negative 4, which is, now a 270 rotation, counterclockwise, is this way. A 4, 4 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, up 4. Okay? Now think about this. This has to rotate 3 quadrants, because 270 degrees is 3 quadrants. Okay? So A prime is over there. Make sense? Angel? Okay, so let's go with B now. B is a negative 2 and negative 1, right? So B prime, I switch and move my Y to the first part. Notice it stays the same sign, but my X becomes positive, doesn't it? So now B is a negative 1, 2. So it's right here, B prime. We good? And then finally C is 2 and negative 4. And C prime is, I switch the X, it becomes a negative 4, the Y becomes first, and then a negative 2, correct? So a negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down to 2. And that's C prime. So I go back to my graph, and I graph it. So on your worksheet, you're gonna have the 2 triangles, the original and this, and then you're going to have these. You're going to have then these on the side, right? Okay, and you don't need the original. You just need these.
So
Okay.
We
Yep.
have to know these different.
Yes, you have to know those.
Do we need to know the ones from?
Yes, yes. You need to know the reflection ones over Y equals X, and you need to know these. Okay. So I'm telling you that to begin, but you can kind of figure it out, can you? Can't you? You can kind of figure out. On the one that reflected across the line, you could go to that Y equals X and over. On this one, 270s and 3 quadrants away from it. 90 is only going to be down here, and 180 is going to be over here. Okay, you see that? I'm going to do that again. So this triangle here, rotated 3/4, it's going to be here. That's 270. If I had the 90-degree rotation, it would be down here, kind of. And 180 would be over here. You kind of got to picture it. Okay? All right. Any questions about that? All right. So this worksheet, I think we can, if you get it done by Monday, maybe we can review a little bit on Monday for your quiz on Tuesday. You understand what I'm saying? If you don't get it done, then we got to work on this. Okay. So I'm going to be quiet and let you work.